There were 2 ways my first day of second grade could have started. I confidently slammed the passenger side door of my mom's beige Mercury Sable. This is my year. I own this playground, I quietly whispered to myself. Unlike most schools, my elementary school had recess before classes started. I strut onto the blacktop concrete, ready to demolish whatever opponent faced me in kickball that day. There was only one problem with my morning so far. I was not properly attired to boot the ball past the defense. I had made the choice to dress in worn-out blue jeans with a long-sleeve t-shirt, regardless of the forecast for the day. It's the middle of August. Why am I wearing clothes intended for the middle of December? My choice depicted on how my skin looked that day. I had, and still have, a skin disorder called eczema. This is a disease caused by a mixture of heredity and environmental factors. It causes red, irritated sores on the skin, which affects the itchiness of my body. I can recall many instances where I would be up all night ravaging my feet, ankles, knees, hands, and forearms, leaving blood crusted beneath my fingernails in the morning. If I had school the next day, I would have to make the choice to either bury my skin behind layers of clothes or to wear the gym shorts and t-shirts I longed to wear. I had to choose, in a sense, whether to camouflage my true self or let my skin be revealed for others to judge for themselves. The other way my first day could have started would have been completely different if I had chose to wear what I wanted, regardless of anyone else's opinions. However, that is much easier said than done. Every single year, there would be new, curious, wide-eyed faces of kids as they initially saw my skin for the first time. "What is that?" some would say as they looked at me with disgust. "Did you fall off your bike or something?" With every kid, I had to explain to them, almost out of mere habit, what eczema was in as simple terms as possible. I didn't ever expect kindergartners to grasp the concept of it, but I had no idea teachers would be even less accepting. They would often look at me over their black-rimmed glasses, trying to be sneaky about glancing at me. When I would catch them staring at me out of the corner of their judging eyes, I just wanted to crawl into a hole and escape from the world for a while. Because of these kinds of reactions, I was left with the choice of how my day would go. A day where the only judgment I had was based on how well I colored inside the lines, or expanding my boundaries to being who I truly am. Instead of playing hide and seek with the rest of the students, I desired to hide from myself. However, as a naive little second grader, I failed to realize the struggle is not a life or death situation. Yes, it may have been difficult at times. It's still hard to deal with, but the struggles I faced were nothing compared to those who are discriminated against because of their race or disability. Dealing with my problems has caused me to have empathy towards other people. I've been on the other side of it. I know what it's like to be humiliated. It's like being pierced with a knife in the stomach, and the apology is like ripping it out. Although it is no longer harming to the person, the aftermath will stay with him or her forever. Every single morning, I had to make the choice of how I wanted to represent myself that day. I thought if I had disguised my disorder, everyone would eventually forget about my differences. I later came to the conclusion that there are many people that cannot do this. Blacks, Hispanics, mentally disabled, etc. They have to suffer with the discriminations others choose to give them. The people that discriminate them do not have any understanding of what it's like to be affected by the heartbreaking decisions that they make. Even I do not fully understand. I know what it's like to go home and cry myself to sleep at 2 a.m, but I do not know what it's like to be physically assaulted just because my skin is a different color. My skin may not be picture perfect, but I have no room to complain about tiny little insults being thrown at me. If I start breaking out into sores all over my body, I have the option to put cream on it in hopes of it getting better. However, if people of other races besides white have a problem with their skin, there's no cream or moisturizer that can save them. No amount of clothes can disguise them. They are unable to go to a dermatologist and receive medicine to help make their skin so-called pure. White people are unaccepting of this, and it's time we put a stop to it. I personally had to go through a lot to get to the mindset I have today. Going through my elementary school struggles has taught me how to love myself, and more importantly, how to love others. I am grateful for my renewed eyes and my unflattering skin.